her car, as we've just driven down the hole, picked the van up, and it appears that they've sorted out all of our issues. So with a little bit of luck, when we get back to the park up, because we're taking the van back to the storage yard now, should get there about 3 o'clock I think, the sat nav. So we'll get back there, I'll show you what they've done. They've sorted all out, they said they've sorted out all the issues, and I've had a quick look and it appears that they have. So with a little bit of luck, that will be sorted. And also when we get that back there, I'll let you know about the upgrade that I alluded to in last week's video. Made a couple of telephone calls this week, have a look at what we're going to be doing and seeing where we can go with it. And I think we're looking at back end of February, half term, because Sister and I are both off at that time. So we'll take it out and we'll get it sorted hopefully then. But in the meantime, see when we get back to the yard. Okay guys, as you can see we're back home. Dropped the van off back at the park up storage yard yesterday. They've, as I mentioned earlier, they've fixed the van for us. They couldn't find exactly what the fault was, so they've replaced the DC to DC unit. They replaced some sort of master controller that was in there with the battery as well. They've also replaced the control panel, which they did say had a fault with it, so that obviously needed replacing. One of the other little things that we asked them to have a look at was some of the catches on some of the cabinets weren't quite closing properly, so they've done all of that. They all now close properly, so nothing's going to come flying out the cupboards as we're whizzing round the country roads. So that hopefully the next time we will be down to M&C will be for the HAB check, which is at the start of July, which means we'll know it's all tickety-boo for when we go away to Europe at the end of July. More on that in a bit. So I mentioned last week that we're looking at a big upgrade to the van. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down the route of a lithium battery and probably an inverter as well, so we can plug more stuff in, and also some more solar on the roof of the van. Had a very interesting and informative telephone conversation with Rob down at Eco Tree Lithium at the start of this week, and we're going to be taking the van down there half term I think, so that'll be the end of February or mid to end of February to have the final conversation, get it booked, get it sorted and get it all installed. When it's all finished, that means that will save us an absolute fortune on campsites, especially in Europe. I've sort of worked it out that we'd be saving on average between 20 and 25 euros a night by not using campsites. So it's a no-brainer, it will pay for itself eventually. So that's what we're going to do with that. Obviously we'll take you to Eco Tree when we get it done. We'll show you the install once it's all done. What we've had done, I'm looking, like I said, it's another 400 watts of solar on the roof, probably a 1600 watt inverter, an MPPT controller, and I'll be able to see exactly what the battery's doing on my phone. And we're looking at a 230 amp hour lithium battery to replace, I think we've got a 100 amp hour AGM battery in the van at the moment. And from what Rob was saying, I don't understand the science of it, but he does, and he explained it quite well. It's effectively 4 times more amp hour power than we've got at the moment. So that is an absolute no-brainer to get that done. So that'll be February, March time. We'll have that done, and then it'll be all set up before we go over to Europe, which is going to be amazing. We're also, that week it ties in with the NEC Motorhome show. I think that starts on the 21st of Feb. So with a little bit of luck, we'll be able to tie that in and get a little bit of a visit in down there for maybe some nice little bits and pieces that we could possibly get in the van that will make life a bit easier. I certainly want to look at silver screens or the external thermal screens for the van. There's several different companies, and I'm sure all of them will be at the NEC show, so we'll have a look at those. What else are we looking at? Oh, update on the trip. I have booked the Eurotunnel for the end of July. If anybody's got any good recommendations for a site near the Eurotunnel terminus in Folkestone for just one overnight stop that don't mind you leaving at 3 o'clock in the morning to get an early train, just stick it down in the comments for us, because a bit of a minefield. Don't know, not stayed down there before, so I don't know what's down there and what's close by. So if anyone's got any good recommendations, that'd be really helpful. Stick them in the comments below. That'd be amazing. And we'll let you know where we're going with that one. What else have I booked so far? We're not going to be coming back on Eurotunnel. We're going to be coming back Hook of Holland into Harwich. So again, if anybody's got any decent sites that are around the Harwich area, sort of within and sort of an hour and a half or so from Harwich, that we can stop overnight there before working our way north slowly over the next few days after that, that'd be fantastic. Again, stick those in the comments. Just let us know what's half decent around that area. That'd be a brilliant one. We're not going to be getting out in the van for a good couple of weeks at the moment. Our youngest daughter is very close to giving us our 5th grandchild, and we're on standby for grandparent duties. So it's a case of, once the baby's born, once everything's sorted and we know we're all happy, then we'll be getting out and having a weekend away in the van. And obviously we'll be taking you on that one when and if that happens. Just looking at my list here of bits and pieces that I'm working through for the trip. We've already figured out our first campsite in Europe, which will be in Ypres. It is a campsite we've stayed at before. Not in a tent or anything. They've actually got some wood cabins that you can stay in on this particular campsite. We've stayed in those for one-nighters on our way to Europe and on our way back from Europe in the past. This time they've got a camping place for putting your motor home for an overnight stop. Basic 6-amp electric, and I think it works out at about €16 a night, I said. Something like that. So we'll stop there. We'll be stopping in Ypres for our first night, but I would have already booked that, but I've checked their website and you can't book anything with them for this year until the 1st of March. So on the 1st of March, I'll be getting straight onto the computer and I'll be booking our first night there in Ypres. We're going to be stopping at a campsite with Siska's sister for 4 nights at some point during the holiday. As soon as they've confirmed what campsite and what dates, then I'll go ahead and book that. For everything else, we're going to wing it, because we don't need to book on with the lithium upgrade. We won't need to book onto campsites. We won't need electric hookup, so we're just going to wing it on search for sites and see what we can come up with, and utilise the camper platzes and stellplatzes and airs in Europe, and just wing it from there. So that's it for this week, guys. That's just our upgrade or an update on where we're at and what we're doing over the next couple of months. We'll catch you on the next one. May come up with something to talk to you about next week. We're going to be possibly buying an air fryer for the van, because with the upgrade we'll be able to use that. So we're going to buy that. We'll probably let you know about that. And anything else in the meantime, please give us that thumbs up down the bottom there and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Thanks very much.